how to tactically upload your podcast onto different platforms. And today I'll probably share with you what I do because I think a lot of times people don't really realize when we say like make a podcast, sometimes people have such granular questions that they're like, hey, how do I actually get this up anywhere? I'm going to show you two areas, right? So one of the areas I do is I use Apple Podcasts, right? Apple Podcasts, I essentially just kind of copy everything I have from YouTube, put it in here, and then I upload the podcast episode. Now, when you upload on Apple, the thing I don't like is that it takes a long time for the process. The platform I wish I would have started from the beginning is called Transistor.fm. And you can kind of see that when I upload things on Transistor, right, compared to what you just saw on Apple Podcasts, where I upload it and still processing, on Transistor, I can essentially just drag and drop my audio file right here. It'll upload, and then automatically it's essentially ready to go. That's it. And I just copy and paste my show notes and descriptions that I got from YouTube that's already optimized for Geo and LMO. And especially this section. This section is so important. Common questions and video answers. Spend a lot of time on this area because this is how you're going to show up on ChatGPT going forward. Now on Transistor, I like that it offers or gives you the option to just copy and paste your URL for the episode so it can always show up later. And then this, I released this originally last week. Now, here's the thought process. My goal is essentially to release on YouTube first so I can drive more volume or watch time on YouTube. Because frankly, it's also the only one we ever make any, like, talking about cents here, like pennies, but it's the only one that we ever make money on. And I don't want to go for any sponsors yet. So I just want to say, hey, this is the best way to kind of promote and stay on top of new content because there's some people that just don't listen to any of our podcasts, to be honest with you. So these are great podcast episodes to listen to. And this one right here is so good. I brought my own private money lender, Corey Dieter, who has lent to me on a prior deal. Again, this is not a solicitation for any investments. This is not investment advice. I'm just simply sharing with you what Corey's experience was lending to me for a bird deal, essentially. So I also got him to talk about some of his other investments, where he's lent deals on, and what his thought process was, or what his process is for evaluating deals. Some of the big no-nos where people just throw a deal over the fence to him, it's terrible, right? You don't want to do that. So I think this is such a great way for you to go about analyzing and understanding from the perspective of a PML, a private money lender, and how they think about deals, right? Again, let's get back to tactically speaking about what it means to upload a podcast. So now that I did this, right, this was already published, but Apple is still taking its time uploading this. So great. So let's see if I can upload 2 episodes on 2 things. So what I do is I just go to YouTube, which I've already done. I do most of my work on YouTube. And then I just figure out, okay, well, here's my new episode. Pull capital for years. West with as little as 10K. Stella Han from Fractional. Great. Boom. Just come up with different titles, see what. Great. So I got that. I'm going to copy and paste this. I just try to find like different titles for these podcast episodes because sometimes that's exactly what allows these episodes to thrive. It's really dependent on the title. Now, the reason I would start on Transistor.fm, and if you want to support the podcast, just click the affiliate link down below on YouTube. Is because this would have allowed me to upload everything onto one platform, so Transistor, and Transistor would have sent the podcast episodes out to Apple and to Spotify, etc., auto podcasting platforms. The problem is once I start on Apple separately by itself and not having upload on the Spotify, I have all this historical data on Apple that I don't want to lose because I want to remember even when I was really, really small, what were the episodes that performed best or what were the outlier episodes that performed best in that situation, right? Oops. Copy this over, this over. Oops. So now you can see how I do it. Now I gotta upload the podcast episode right here. I'm gonna upload the podcast episode right here. Make it anyone can listen. So this is how people can charge for podcast episodes. They'll just say, "Hey, this is only for audio subscribers only." I don't believe in that. I'm just here to help everybody. So audio, boom. So Han, boom. Upload, boom. So this is the part that takes the longest, right? For Apple, it just takes as long for upload and then process. That's why I like Transistor a little bit better, especially if it's just the audio part of it. So I got this. Now I need the YouTube video, so I'll just copy that over. I know this isn't like the most exciting thing for you guys to watch, but I thought this is pretty important for you to know because a lot of people sometimes they have like no idea how to they need like step A, B, and C instead of figuring it out. Well, let me remove one episode, one tactic right now so that you can see how it works. Look, it's already uploaded. That's how fast it was. It'll show them Spotify really soon. But on Apple, it still has a process. So right now, it's processing still. Let me see whether or not the other one for Corey is ready to publish yet. Nope. Okay, there it is. Now it's ready. So we'll talk about 30 minutes. So that's a pretty long time. Well, at least now you see how we tactically update all these episodes going forward. All right. So, all right, this was not a underwriting episode, but more so an episode that shares with you that I wish my kids would know how to upload a podcast. It seems so straightforward, but some people never take a step. They never try to figure it out. They just want someone to just tell them everything, and that's okay. And that's how you learn. That's how you learn. So that's why I decided to show the steps so you guys can figure out what to do because we talked about how to optimize our podcast content for GEO, right? How to show up on ChatGPT. Because if you ask ChatGPT right now, what is the best podcast on affordable housing investments, you will get our affordable housing podcast that pops up. Why is that? Because we've been consistent. We've been putting in the right terminology, the right keywords, not for search engine optimization, but for generative engine optimization, right? How do you show up in ChatGPT? Because right now, 55% of the volume, I think I've read that 55% of the volume for Gen Z searches right now are all on ChatGPT, which means that Google is dead. But this also means it's a big opportunity. This means that page one of Google or the equivalent of that is up for grabs. Why would you not take advantage of it? If you know what that would do for your business, I bet you'd be working so hard for it. So please don't miss on this. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you all tomorrow for day almost 700. Have a good one, everybody. See you tomorrow.